to David, what in the airport, David, I was talking to David about a situation that happened to me over the weekend that really set this up for me today to be here. Because I had a really beautiful experience of that. I was over the weekend. I was in judgment about a situation that occurred in my life over the weekend, and I was in condemnation about my brother, and I was just going back to grievances of my past, and I was feeling like I was in hell, like I was just feeling this hellish dream. And I was just working with that. And then, Spirit was calling me because David had sent me his book through PDF, and I said, I was just really called to read it and to just go back and read it. And I ask you guys to just listen to that voice, because there would be symbols that the Holy Spirit will give you to do this, do that, read this, listen to this, go to this. There will be that kind of prompting. So that's why it's important to be aware and honest with those feelings you're having about possibly being inspired doing. Not just doing to do, but really inspirational doing. So I read the book, and it really unwound my mind, because just like the book says, unwind your mind. It really brought me back home. And then I began doing the work, because David's not going to do it for me. The book is not going to do it for me. No, me choosing, my willingness, my honesty, me getting close, coming back to my internal teacher is what is going to finally give that to me. So the book gave me that opportunity to bring me back home. I felt that sense of being back home, and then that's when the work started. And then I started to let go of the thoughts. It's interesting, because always when I'm in hell, it's because I have expectations of something. I always expect something, or somebody has to do this a certain way, or why didn't he call when he said he would, stuff like that. So it was like this expectation that my brother had to do something. And that's usually what brings me in hell. So what I realized is that, no, he doesn't have to call. You see, it's that whole thing that my love is conditional. I'm going to love you if you call. This is an example I'm giving. So I know that this works, because as I was working with my mind, I saw the transformation in my mind from Saturday that I was in a hellish state to Sunday, being guided to read the book, reading the book, still marinating in that sadness or grief or whatever, which is okay. It's part of my journey, and I need to feel this. I'm going to feel it. I'm going to go. I'm going to work it. And then Monday, I wake up, and I have no memory of what happened, and I'm in grace. And I know it works because I saw the transformation of being in hell to be completely in heaven. So that is what the miracle is. It's that experience of you, and you could feel it because it's so much different how drastic it is. So what the whole point of this is that it will at times be uncomfortable and painful, this path. But I love it so much more than living a trance state of like automatic pilot, of being run by my past and my ego and my grievances, and just really living a life of close in guidance with Jesus, with my teacher, with Holy Spirit, walking side by side. So it's interesting. I was talking to David about this in the airport, when we were in flight, and it was a big learning experience for me, because it was an attachment that I had that was so deep that I'm free of it because of my practice, and I know it because of the experience I'm having. So again, it's the practice, because the ego will distract you. And me, it distracts me with shiny things, like pretty, it's like sometimes it distracts me with form, you see, but I know better, you see, and it distracts us like, oh, let's go watch TV, or let's go have coffee, or let's go have a glass of wine. I know when my ego is distracting me from where I need to be. I'm very conscious of that. So it's important it's like kind of like, I see it like an antenna. When I'm like, doo, 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 like I feel synchronized and saying, whoa, okay, this is pulling me away from my truth. And I know that when I'm being pulled away from my truth, if I start to just engage in that, away from my truth, I start to engage in that and believe that story and start condemning, there's a whole snowball effect of fear that will lead me to hell. And I will experience that. And then I have the opportunity to choose again, choose God again, choose Holy Spirit again. So every moment, going back to Andy's question, is like every moment we just choose. Every single second, even the second within the second. Within the second. Right? It's just in there, it's just constantly choosing God again. Choosing love again. Choosing who and what you really are. And recognizing that God's will for us is happiness. And the only source, that source of happiness comes from where? The source of happiness always comes from within. And I struggled a lot in my 20s, looking for external gratification. Always looking for my happiness outside. Looking for happiness in that was my favorite one. Looking for happiness in a boyfriend, that was like my number one, Looking for, men would be my God. Right? It was like I would put just all my emphasis on like, oh my God, this guy's my everything. Right? For years, it's like, this is love. I love this guy a little bit, and I love my mom this much, and it was like this kind of, like love was not even one. It wasn't inclusive, it was exclusive. Like I love my boyfriend more, I love my husband more than I love this person. It's a separation that the ego does. And now I recognize why I wasn't living my highest potential. I recognize why I wasn't fully happy. And I recognize that even though I was studying the Course in Miracles, I wasn't really experiencing it because I was still in the world studying the Course and still believing in separation. And still believing that I can have exclusive love, or like I love you more than I love you. As of when I was brought to my ministry and felt the fear and did anyways and began studying to become a minister of Course in Miracles and a teacher, I began to understand that my love is inclusive. And I am in love with all my ministry, my congregation. I'm in love with everyone there. It feels so much better than having like this specific guy and putting all my and giving this person all the responsibility for my happiness. My goodness, that sucks. This guy has complete responsibility of if I'm going to be happy. And when we're doing that with our friendships, like if this person is responsible for making me happy, this person is responsible for giving my happiness, it's the whole thing about special love, special relationship in the Course in Miracles. It's all about that. And then I realized, practicing the Course, what real love is, and love is inclusive. It's inclusive, it's not exclusive, and I was free, because I suffered a lot with that. My career, if my career wasn't working, or if I wasn't booking a national commercial, I was devastated. That's what living in the world of ego is. It's like your love is conditional, your happiness is conditional. Then when I realized that if I get the commercial, if I don't get the commercial, my goal now, instead of wanting to get something or get a commercial or get something, is more like my goal is peace. My goal is peace going into anything. If I go to an audition, I'm not thinking, well, I want this commercial, I want to be at peace. Peace first is the number one thing for the Holy Spirit. Peace first, peace of mind. Because if I have the boyfriend, if I don't have the boyfriend, if I have the commercial, if I don't have the commercial, I'm still at peace. And that's what true spirituality is. It's being at peace no matter what. If you have the house, if you don't have the house, if you have the car, if you don't have the car. You're at peace no matter what.